Guardians of the Galaxy issue 16 heads to Throne World 2, where Hulkling and Wiccan help out the work crews, finishing up their work as one of the Krees say that both the Emperor and Prince Consort getting their hands dirty is a big help since it shows how much they care for the Kree and Skrulls alike. Hulkling says that that's what they are there for and they will do more tomorrow, but right now he has kingly duties to deal with. Wiccan wonders what's so important, so Teddy tells him that they've got more reports from Pyvok about Krakoa making Mars their new home, as well as a new metal called Mysterium being offered up by them, and he needs to work out their position on it. Wiccan knows that they have been getting weird vibes about Krakoa since the Hellfire Gala, like something bad is going to happen to someone close to him. Suddenly portals open up as soldiers come through, attacking the royal court, which Wiccan is quick to shield. Hulkling knows they aren't of concern since the whole planet is under attack. Wiccan knows that the teleportals are Asgardian magic, or at least a cheap knockoff of it, and he knows what's coming through is something Scarlet Witch told him about, knowing they are what's called the Mindless Ones, enemies of total destruction, and they can't look at anything without wanting to attack it. A Skrull asks how long the shields will last for, and Wiccan knows they're almost done for, focusing on returning fire, blasting the Mindless Ones with their own energy. Soon, however, a giant Mindless One ship appears in the sky as Gamora sends out an emergency alert to the teams studying Ego, telling them to get away from it as Quasar heads for the airlock. Ego, now turned into Dormammu, loudly proclaims who he is, saying that he has waited eternities to possess their frail universes. He demands the universe look upon him and know fear, as out of his maw comes more of his armies of mindless ones. On the Tenant, Drax says that Dormammu is all mouth, making Hercules realize he just made a joke. Drax says that they're superheroes now, and superheroes tell jokes, asking if it was a good one. Mantis says he needs to work on his timing as a mindless one attacks. Hercules knows they need to buy time for the civilians to escape, asking Mantis if the ship can withstand the assault. So Mantis says the hull can withstand 200 megaton impacts, but the mindless one easily cracks the window, making her know it can't withstand the assault. On the planet Arakko, Nova asks Peter if he thinks this will last, and Peter knows why not, since someone had to settle Mars eventually, so why not the X-Men, and the stunt they pulled to rescue the galactic economy seemed to work. Nova knows that almost all the galactic councils are backing the new miracle metal Mysterium, and people are looking at Sol as they are civilized now. Peter knows he's waiting for the other shoe to hit now, wondering if he would really prefer this be some billionaire's ego game. Richard knows it's hard to be optimistic sometimes, but he's working on it, though he's seen many new beginnings just wither and die. Peter says that they'll take it one day at a time before being asked if he caught up with Kitty Pryde. Peter says that it's Kate these days, and they were going to get coffee aboard her boat, but she had to cancel thanks to some post-gala drama. Richard knows that's probably wise since they've got their own drama, getting multiple 8x8 alerts. Suddenly, Moondragon telepathically contacts the heroes. Nova asks if she's still at the Prosecium since she almost took his head off with that communication. Moondragon says that there is no time for chatter since she is in contact with the other fleet near Ego and he needs to see this. She shows Richard and Peter what's going on there with Dormammu and Quasar. Richard can see Gamora and Rocket are having trouble as well before telling Peter that Ego's egg hatched into an army of darkness. Peter tells Richard he saw, knowing that they are hitting the throne world as well and Spartax, and while the Spartax astrologers are holding them off for now, they will need help. Nova knows that people need help right now though, telling Peter to grab Marvel Boy and tell Brand what's happening, as well as Doom since he's still around and said something about diplomatic dinner. Peter says that he's coming with Nova, but Richard says he can't since he'll be there in minutes and taking the route which he intends to do will kill Peter. Peter realizes he's doing the thing and Richard confirms he is indeed, knowing it's the human rocket time as he accesses the total Nova force, blasting off of planet Arakko and into a wormhole, wanting the Guardians told he is responding. The Guardians meanwhile fend off the mindless ones so the civilians can escape, and soon Mantis knows that there are no civilian signals nearby. Drax knows they could go longer in this fight and could fight them to the death, especially if he doesn't see how they live through this anyway. Mantis tells him that he's not looking, mentally contacting Quasar since they need him to evac them since they are running out of time. Wendell speeds through the Tenant, picking up the team as they contact Gamora. telling her that the civilians are gone and Quasar is getting them to a safe distance, so it's time for them to retreat as well. Gamora won't, since she has the mindless gun in her sights and she would like to go out on a win. Gamora and Rocket pilot the ship towards the weapon, knowing it's opening some type of portal. The ship suddenly disappears through the portal, but then reappears behind them, blowing Gamora's ship up. As Gamora and Rocket float through space, Mantis demands Quasar turn around since their suits are preventing them from depressurizing, but they can't breathe in space. She says that she can feel them dying when suddenly Gamora is told just to breathe since now she is in an atmospheric field, knowing it's been one of those days. Gamora and Rocket have been saved by Nova, who knows, like Gamora, he's had worse days than this. Moondragon, however, tells Phyla that the rest of the Guardian ships were lost and they are evacuating through the Nova Force wormhole, and civilian casualties were kept at an absolute minimum. Clerk knows miracles will end there, and they have reports of more worlds like Hala and Spartax under siege. Phyla knows that these worlds are reeling from previous attacks, wondering if Dormammu is looking for weak points. Clerk knows that perhaps he is, and they have just gotten a distress call from the Shi'ar world air, learning that they are targeting Skrullos. Clerk tells Hulkling what is happening on the planet and how Skrullos needs to be defended as well, and Wiccan and Hulkling must go there now. Wiccan knows that they have their own problems on Hala and they could send the Knights of the Infinite to Skrullos, but Hulkling knows that Clerk is right, and this is a test, and they are royal family now, two of the most powerful monarchs of the galaxies and monarchs for two allied empires, and if both of them stay on a Kree world, it would look like a bad thing since it sends the wrong message to the Skrulls. Wiccan tells Hulkling that he will gather the Knights and head to Skrullos, telling his husband that he loves him as he kisses him. Wiccan teleports away, finding it funny how he can focus so much better now when he's scared. Hulkling knows that he'll crush this, but Wiccan says he's not scared for himself, he's scared for Teddy, and if he gets into any trouble he is to tell him, since he would rather worry about a living husband than a dead one. Hulkling understands, telling Clerk that L'Oreal's on her way and that he needs to make sure that Billy has backup from local forces, and he needs to contact the Dreadrock penal colony since he hates to say it, but they need him back, wanting Clerk to get Captain Glory out of prison.